Hi, Cage. We saw it last year in the grand final. Hawkins, of course, hit the post, and that was counted as a goal. We saw it twice on Friday night in the Essendon game. Jay Neagle, then Jared Waite. Theirs weren't allowed. Then, of course, Shannon Burns 7 minutes into the third quarter. It was unusual. All three happened in the third quarter of the games, of course. Is it time to bring technology into the game?
Well, it is, General. Like every other part of the game has improved. We've increased the boundary umpires, we've increased the field umpires, but the goal umpire situation hasn't changed over so many years. Now, it was obvious, as you mentioned last year, that could cost a side a premiership. 10 months hard work could go down the gurgler because of a bad goal umpiring decision. Technology surely has to be introduced by the AFL. They spoke about it 3 years ago. Surely we could put men on the moon. Surely we could create a device whereby if it goes through the goals, ball goes through the goals, a green light signals from somewhere. Surely.
All right, is it Ron Barassi's idea, which is 30 years ago, Coach, to have two goal umpires? And technology, is that where we get to go now? Let's assume for a moment we go with the technology. So there's going to be a delay in the game with that, and the AFL don't like that delay. I reckon it'd add something to the game. It'd add a little bit of intrigue to the game. But in saying that, how do they go about it, Cage? Do they number the number of times that you can appeal?
Well, I don't like that, because I reckon the coaches will eventually use that as a tactic.
Absolutely.
When a side's got momentum, you'll see a close call, and if they got the opportunity to appeal, they will. That stops the game.
Yep.
Surely technology, where the moment the ball crosses the goal line or goes between the two white sticks, a green light signals immediately, so the goal umpire, if he's got any doubt at all, can signal.
All right,
surely.
So no appeals. You can't have any appeals?
I don't think so, because you could bet your life, as they have with the interchange bench, the coaches will devise some tactics in crucial situations which takes the momentum away.
All right, well, the penalty is, though, Cage, if you didn't have the technology, because the goalposts move and in the wind, it's all too difficult. Hypothetically, you can appeal. If you appeal and it's wrong and you're the club that's appealed, then do you have a penalty for that? Well, so I'm suggesting that if that happens, and you appeal because you're using it as a tactic to delay the game, or you've just completely got it wrong, then the other team get the ball back in the centre of the ground. Well, so you want to be sure, if you appeal, that you're 100% sure it's a goal.
Well, of course you've got to be. Well, there would have to be some penalty for an appeal situation, but I'm not sure I like that. I just think the coaches will find ways around it. I just think technology, some form of technology, surely is the way to go. But that's okay. Spoke about it years ago.
But it's okay, Cage, for the kick that goes through. But what about the toe poke? How is technology going to help with that? Going to use what you've had in tennis, are you?
Well, if it crosses the line or whatever between that, a green light signal somewhere, surely.
Yeah, I'm with you when the ball goes through. I'm just not sure what happens when the foot gets it before it goes through, or is the foot over the line? Then you're using the tennis technology, I guess, when the ball's in and out. You could probably create something clever enough.
It's become an absolute nightmare. There's no doubt, and the AFL simply have to do something about it, because it's going to be. There'll come a day when it'll cost the side a premiership.
Yep.
And then there'll be watch out then.
Big trouble. Just quickly, the Crows, Cage, over now.
Well, it would appear.
There's the slimmest mathematical.
It would appear it's over. Look, again, the last 3 weeks they have just thrown the game out the door. Early on Sunday night, last night, had chances, 1 goal, 5, can't do it, you'll get killed.
29,000 at the game?
Poor.
How big a concern is that?
Oh, it's got to be a concern. Like 29,000. When was the last time Adelaide got 29,000 to a game of footy? That's a real concern. Middley, 10 past 4. And if ever it's sending a message to the AFL that 10 past 4 games is not acceptable, they've sent a clear message. 29,000.
Oh, Andrew Demetrio came out a few weeks ago. We don't like the twilight games in Melbourne. That's why we don't schedule them.
Well, we don't like them now either, Andrew. I'm sorry. Yesterday was an indication, 29,000.
All right, Matty Primus's 94-point loss. Has it dented his chance at all?
I don't think so. Look, it hasn't helped, but as I said from day one, I don't think he'll be judged solely on his win-loss ratio. I think it'll be the way that he conducts himself, his communication situation with the players, his tactical nous during the game. All those things will be weighed up, and of course then Port will also interview other players and people to see how they come up.
All right, I understand Peter Ray was in Melbourne on Friday interviewing some candidates, Coach. I'm going for Matty Primus.
Well, look.
I'm saying he's the one I think will get the job.
Well, look, the next 3 weeks are important for Matty Primus. There's no question about that. Port have to cast the net far and wide, though. They just can't make the decision now. They've got a responsibility to talk to as many people about the coaching job as they possibly can.
One of the great things about sport, Coach, time will tell.
It always tells.